me as I get this right. Camera the way I want it to do. Okay. Well, I'm doing the widescreen, as someone suggested last time, rather than this way. So we'll see. The other way makes it easier for me to read the comments, but we'll try it this way, see how it goes. Okay, well, there is no one here yet, but that's cool because I just started. I hope that everybody is having a good Sunday. The last day of the weekend. Some people go back to work Monday if they have a kind of a traditional Monday through Friday type of job. What is it? On the seventh day, God rested, Sunday. Maybe that's how we have the tradition of everybody kind of chilling out for the most part on Sunday. Some people going to church, other people kind of like chilling out, watching football during football season. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and get started in a second because this video will be posted on my YouTube channel, whether anyone is here for the moment or not. This will be a fairly brief live stream. I kind of wanted to check in with people. I did one, I believe, last week, and I kind of went over some of the other videos that I did previously. Kind of like to do this to kind of see if anybody has any comments or questions about the videos. Of course, I really appreciate all of the comments and questions that you have under the video. And I'm really even more pleased when you all kind of interact with each other and can answer questions too. So, hey, okay. So good, I can read the comments this way. I was a little worried. I'm a little nearsighted, by the way. It is much better than it used to be because instead of seeing a traditional optometrist, I went to a behavioral optometrist. And that is a trip because a behavioral optometrist is trained in, let's say, non-traditional techniques for eye improvement. Hey there, Melo. They're trained in non-traditional techniques, so I had to have special testing and almost look like a gaming type of thing that I had to track things. And they are the ones who will also suggest eye exercises. Sometimes they have classes at their clinic to do that. I got a chance with the optometrist to geek out over some books that I've read and some things that I discovered. And she said, well, I have the same books. And we're talking like the Bates method and other things like that. So, but she was able to detect my problem because I got nearsighted fairly late. It was late in high school. It was like 17, 18. And since then, by following certain protocols and doing my best to watch what I do with my eyes, it has gotten a little bit better. It hasn't gotten to 20/20 yet. One of the worst things that for nearsightedness is things that are very cultural. For example, digital things, like what I'm doing with my phone, looking at my phone all day, checking Instagram, checking Facebook, laptop computers. If you don't give yourself breaks, gradually over time, do you have any predictions for 2022? You know, I haven't really tuned in to anything in 2022. I'm trying to wait for me to get to kind of a comfortable place, state of detachment, to do that. I don't tend to do that anyway. I kind of take the days and the weeks as they come. We have so many different things happening. It's also difficult to make predictions. For example, we have all of the complex interrelationships and interactions with things like the coronavirus, world politics, climate change. It is all a very complex system of networks, very unpredictable. So, but if I tune into something and I discover something, I certainly will tell you all. And by the way, I want for you to meet somebody. Hold on one second. So this is my buddy, Knight. Now, if you have been, see, he loves his daddy. If you have been with me since the beginning of my channel, you have met Knight before, because the door, when I do my videos on the patio, there was a point where it got really dirty. It's still a little dirty after I cleaned it. It's just hard to keep clean. People are cutting grass and the dirt flies and stuff like that. And it was so opaque that one time, while I was shooting a video, Knight came and was looking for me. He looked outside. You know, he's kind of like my supervisor, make sure I give good content to you all. And as a result, somebody was making comments. I see a spirit. There's a spirit in the door looking at us. And it was Knight. It wasn't a spirit. It was just maybe a canine incarnated spirit. But yeah, Knight is 15 years old. He is getting up there. So he requires a lot of care and taking him to the vet and all these types of things. So he's my buddy. So I will put him down so as not to aggravate him. He was sleeping. Okay. I'm a dog person. I love dogs. Dogs and humans have had such a special relationship. There's certain people scientists who say that we've kind of evolved together, which is how they can sense certain things about us and how well tuned we are with them. And it's almost sometimes a kind of a telepathic experience. I also, this doesn't apply to this because I'm using my phone, but I appreciate those people who commented on my videos a couple videos back. My sound was going out, and I do realize it. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I eventually had to do I think it's called Snowball, to a new mic. So I think I believe that for the last video that I did, everything turned out fine. In fact, it seemed extremely crisp. It was kind of interesting to hear. Also, if you have put in an Etsy order for my attunements, what are your views on Druids? If you put an order in for my attunement store, be patient. I've gotten a lot of orders. A lot of people have been wanting things, and it'll take me maybe an extra day or so to get things getting back on track. A lot of work. Right now, it's funny because the most popular, they're neck and neck, are Lucifer and Jesus. So there must be competing for people. So Lucifer and Jesus are the most popular right now. And of course, if you don't know what an attunement is, it's basically an energetic imprint that allows you to channel the energy of a particular entity, god, goddess, angel, demon, whatever, so that you can use that energy to create magic, change yourself. And that's kind of the wonderful parts of it. Merlin Intel was good. It allows you to actually make some really good changes. You know, these universal forces that are represented as the images of these particular entities, the reason why I believe that they work so well is because they are, in a way, parts of us that resonate with them. And then through that, that's how I believe that we can communicate, feel the energy, take that part of us, that energy interacts, with which the energy interacts, and then make something happen, even positive things. I think that magic in itself, the more magic you do, the less you have to do, in the sense that I think that it touches you and it changes you. So that if you were to, greetings from Michigan, I find your content intriguing. I find that, for example, let's say that you worked with Bune, for example, or Clawneck, or Jupiter, or all of the other ones that are responsible for abundance, prosperity. You know, once you start working with that and you start getting a little bit of success, in order to get the success, you're probably going to be shifting inside, and your behaviors are going to shift to support that. So you'll find yourself maybe doing things differently than you did before to make it happen, because actions and magic work together. So over time, you probably are not going to need that same level of attention or energy, because it's almost like there's going to be a complete reworking of your mind and your body with the energy, so that you can kind of do things on your own. You might not need it as much. So I think that's kind of the wonderful part of magic and energy work and the attunements and things, is that it changes us, and it changes us for the better. So that's my kind of viewpoint on that. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description to the Etsy store. I'm getting a lot of good feedback, people writing really good reviews. And if not, if you don't want to buy anything, check it out. Like the store, you can make it favorite. I get some of those, so I appreciate it all. So appreciate anybody who supports my work. Okay. Yes. Discover the Summerland inside you. Yeah. We have, there's a Zen saying, our minds are like God. We can make a heaven out of hell, or a hell out of heaven. It's very true. We have so many internal resources and different things available to us. And some people doubt that, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's just that we don't always know how to access it. We don't always know how to get that which is available to us. Sometimes it gets buried deep beneath because of maybe there's some type of negative experiences from trauma, things from the past that would make you almost convince you that you're not wonderful, or convince you that you don't have the capability to do things. But it's simply not true. It's just a matter of finding it. And why do some magicians look down on chaos magic? That's a very good question. I can only speculate, but I think that traditional magicians followed a very kind of formulaic. You do A, B, and C. A lot of times even ceremonial magicians insist on robes and wands and things charged and things being cleansed, and all of these different types of things. I'm very excited to read it. Well, I'm glad. I hope that you enjoy the book. it is very much a very recipe type of way of going about magic. And it's usually kind of an old school way of doing it. I believe that certain personalities tend to resonate with that, and then the other personalities that resonate more with chaos magic, because chaos magic would be much more permissive of you trying to discover what works for you, and then whatever that works, then follow it, and try to not follow a non-dogmatic path. That's what chaos magic is. Sometimes you find the chaos magicians who will even follow Eris, which is the Greek god of chaos. She was the one who threw that golden apple into the banquet, saying, to whom is the fairest? And of course, all of the women, Athena and Aphrodite said, oh, it's my golden apple. And then they asked Zeus to pick, who is it for? And he was smart. And if I remember the story correctly, he wouldn't have anything of that. He was not going to get in the middle of all of that to decide who was the most beautiful goddess on Mount Olympus. So I think what happened was that they decided to get a mortal to decide who it was. And then Aphrodite bribed that mortal. That mortal was Paris. And originally that was the story, I believe, in the Odyssey, Iliad maybe, of how the Trojan War started, because Aphrodite gave Paris Helen, and of course Helen was someone else's wife, and that's not going to work. So Eris started the whole Trojan War, if you want to think of it that way. Truly the goddess of chaos. So speaking of Merlin, somebody mentioned Merlin. Does anybody have any thoughts about the video, Merlin and magic? I talked just briefly about some things that happened according to Le Morte d'Arthur, a story about him being King Arthur's advisor, him taking Arthur from his parents, away from King Uther, because people didn't like King Uther, and he felt like Arthur might be killed. Gave him the Sir Kay, and then later on he became king. His kingdom was Camelot, and he formed his army, which were the Knights of the Round Table, which were the main knights. So Merlin, as I said in the video, one of the wonderful things that Merlin can teach, because all entities can teach us something. Merlin was a magician through and through. He ate his breakfast, but he was still a magician. That it's important for us to learn how to integrate magic into our life. Remember that we're a magical being, in a sense. And when we can live within ourselves, a place from magic, we can feel that we're magical. The world becomes magical, and we can see things from a magical perspective. We're more likely to be able to do magical things. And one of the things I wanted to mention too is, as adults, a lot of times we lose touch with our inner child. And our inner child is the part of us that has certain qualities that we, a lot of times, by dealing with society, by dealing with working and all of the responsibilities social obligations that go along with being adults somehow get lost. But our inner child can, when we can get in touch with it and remember him or her, can help us connect with our magic. Because when we were little, we didn't have all the filters and we didn't have all of the schemas and beliefs that formulate later as an adult. We're more open and we can perceive more, we take in more. And it's natural because we haven't had all the experiences of an adult, so we don't have all of that clumped together in our mind. In fact, children are, you can think of it, we're recently in the spirit world, so they still have that part of them that is active, that's still open, that's still connected to spirit. So it kind of behooves us to try to reconnect with that, because as children we were probably much more psychic in a way than we are now. We believed in magic, we believed in amazing things. We were more curious, and when we're curious, we're more open, and when we're open, we take in more. We sometimes pay attention more. It focuses our attention. If we focus more, we can sometimes see more, see patterns. So that is my little speech on the inner child and why that's important. I also did videos on Jupiter, so I'm going to be probably in the future doing more Roman gods and goddesses and planetary magic. Jupiter being associated with expansiveness, doing it big, large. I see Jupiter as if it were a man, someone wearing a lot of robes and expensive items on himself, and making big speeches and being wealthy. So that type of energy, when we can have that, with access to that, it can make us feel that. It can actually be very good for self-confidence if you're somebody who suffers from that. And it's kind of funny that if we look at the physical correlates to that, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter, in a way, has more wealth than the other planets because Jupiter has more moons than the other planets. Now, if we look at Mercury, which I just put on ruler of USA birth chart, isn't it? Cool. Mercury, on the other hand, which I also just put on the store because I'm a fan of Mercury as well, tends to cause many social conditioning too. Mercury is known as the swift messenger god. The god he's also associated with magic and commerce and money. Why money? Because in the economy and things like that, money comes in, it comes out. Hopefully, for you and me, it comes in more than it's going out. But even when it's going out, it means something. A lot of times, I hear people complain about bills and debts and things. While I can certainly understand that, a positive way of reframing that is that those things that are going out, they're going out because they're paying for something that you've already received, whether it's your electricity or your water or all the other things that we kind of like and need. So next time you can find yourself complaining about debt or a bill in the mail, think about that we have a lot of things in this money that's going out is coming. You are getting something out of it, something of value. But back to Mercury. Mercury, this swift messenger, and it's kind of funny because Mercury, as a planet, goes around in its orbit faster than any other planets. So I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the timing of that. Like, for example, did these ideas about these planets and these gods come out prior to their astronomical type of discoveries, or other way around? Who knows? But I think it's an interesting coincidence. Okay, folks, well, I am glad that you all are here, that you stayed a little while with me to go ahead and do the live chat. Again, I'm going to put links in the description in case you want to check out the Etsy Attunement store. Also, I have some really good people right now on Patreon who are watching some of the videos that I post. Sometimes they're the second videos of some of the ones on YouTube. For example, I have the second video of the coffee as an offering. I have a video on the tarot, which I did the Hanged Man before. This video is on really quick and dirty techniques to do readings, important things to remember when you're doing tarot card readings. All right, so check out my Patreon, and I hope that you all have a really good rest of the weekend, and I will see you very soon in a future video. Okay, take care from me and Night. All right, bye-bye.